if you're tuning in after the live, I want to thank you for tuning in. Just give me about 60 seconds to a minute and a half to finish doing what I got to do as it uploads. I can't do it until my YouTube live starts. So what I'm going to share today is I'm going to stay with within the theme of trying to share some valuable information. So Mike Maloney makes some valuable points, and he makes a suggestion, and he's somebody who, if you don't believe me when it comes to or don't trust me or understand my philosophy with taking profits and putting it into precious metals, Mike Maloney actually validates what I've been saying since 2021 to my audience. So I want you to listen to this key piece of information. As everybody knows, I like to take profits as I'm waiting for the prices to go back down after selling out, and I take profits and I put it into gold, but especially silver right now, as it's the most undervalued commodity in the world. In my opinion, it's just so cheap right now, and it's like silver gold basically. So this will help at least describe what I'm saying and give you a better understanding.
Precious metals and cryptos are allies in freedom. And if there is a war that will be lost, it's going to be lost by cryptos first. Central banks do not hold cryptocurrency. They hold gold. I just think it is very prudent for anybody holding cryptocurrencies to convert some of your profits into gold and silver, especially silver, periodically. Silver is basically gold on steroids. The global war against cryptocurrencies continues. In 2017, in episode 8 of Hidden Secrets of Money.
So I just wanted to share that quick little thing that he said. Oh, wait a minute. It's a tad bit longer. I apologize. I want you to hear this 60 seconds because this speaks to his philosophy. I want you to hear this 60 seconds because this talks about it speaks to his philosophy. I apologize, everybody. That was not cool of me to cut it up right there because it was getting into his own philosophy.
8 of Hidden Secrets of Money. I said, today, mankind stands at a crossroads, and the path that humanity chooses will have a greater impact on our freedom and prosperity than any event in history. In 2008, a new technology was introduced that is so important that its destiny and the destiny of mankind are inextricably interlinked. It is so powerful that if captured and controlled, it could enslave all of humanity. But if allowed to remain free and flourish, it could foster unimaginable levels of peace and prosperity. It inverts the power structure and places control of one's destiny in the hands of the individual. Now that last sentence is really important because that is the whole reason for this war against cryptos. This inversion of the power structure threatens all of the powers that be, global powers, national powers, and all of the financial powers from Wall Street to your local bank. It's the reason for this war because all of those entities right now are looking for a change of underwear. They waited too long. They dismissed Bitcoin when it was introduced as just some oddity, something to ignore, that they were going to be fine. And they didn't actually start chasing this until just the past couple of years. So let's take a look at the timeline of...
Okay, so I just wanted to share that while I was setting that up. Everything's set up now, and please, if you want an answer, Manny, I'm not going to respond if you just spam and keep copy-pasting in my audience. So, good mid-afternoon, 2:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, June 20th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If anybody, we have 29 people and already. Thank you very much, everybody. 12 likes. Make sure to hit that like button, as it will greatly help push me through the analytics. And I greatly do appreciate everybody tuning in. Remember, it's our job today to start with positivity so that we can pay attention. We have to understand the broader spectrum of the patterns as well. So we let our perception become formed by the charts in front of us. So with XRP, we've been very volatile. We did not get a rejection at 477 earlier, which allowed us to propel back up and use that as a support area. But now again, do we come up? Can we get above the 494 and ultimately make a play back up? And this scenario right here, if we were to bounce back up, would be using one of two scenarios. The 46 cents on the broadening wedge is the support right now, and then maybe this is where it bounces back up to the 508, and then possibly could make a run like we talked about yesterday to 537. But you got to get back above that area to invalidate this current movement. It's just within the broadening wedge, it very well could come all the way back up to the top of the wedge if we don't lose the 477 area. That's a major support area right now. So that's telling you your pattern right now. If XRP holds the 477, yes, we came under, but it's a wick. If you bring back a wick, it's just that, a wick. So with XRP right now, our main thing we're watching, this area right here where that yellow line's going across, that's the 477. And then we bounced up and we got back on top of the 482 resistance. We still have been getting beaten down by the 200-day here. Whoops. And we can see the 200-day. It's that blue line coming through, and we're still getting rejected by it. We got to get back over the 494 to get something going with XRP, like the first layer. Just pay attention. If that 477 falls, that's the urgency within this pattern. If you lose 477, which is why in my updates I was warning the XRP holders, if 477 is lost, that would validate a drop if you get rejected there. I don't think 46 cents is going to hold up. It's always a possibility, but I think that 477 rejection, if and when it happens, that would lead to an 8% drop down to about the 44 cent mark. That's the bottom of the broadening wedge right now, and also the inverted head and shoulders neckline. So are we making a way down there? It all depends. Like I always say, you have your buying plans, and you can't just, hey, it went up 15%. Oh, XRP is going to go from here to there, so I'm going to sell it. You have to have, I still consider this the accumulation right now, as I've been saying. So within the accumulation phase, it looks like a right arm is forming right now. How high up can it come on that right arm if it gets validated? I mean, it could come all the way up to 537 and still just be another top there. But for a right arm, 508 could be a top for a very firm rejection, but it's already had a nice rejection if it does get invalidated here. It's just with Bitcoin jumping 1,100 points, does that change things? Well, let's take a look at Bitcoin and see what this move is all about. Is it all for nothing? Did this just come up to the broken channel like we talked about yesterday? Because remember, a hold at 27,200, we talked about the move to 28,000. That's the top of the bottom of the broken channel. So that's a retest area, and we talked. I think we dipped into it a little bit more yesterday because we talked about how since the dump down back here, you have not retested this area as resistance, and until it does, oftentimes, it's not always, it's not an exact science or calculation or formula, but oftentimes it likes to come back up here to either get rejected or start reversing the pattern back. Well, right now we hit 27,200, finally came over it, and now we're gone. We were rejected here, came back through, and we powered through it now. Now we got rejected here. Now, is it more likely that Bitcoin's just going to shoot up to 30K, or is it going to have a consolidation? I mean, it's tough. Manipulated pushes are hard. And these are all manipulated pushes right now. The reason why it's so volatile up and down is they want it to be manipulated. They want it to be so volatile so people are getting liquidated who are leverage traders. If you're accumulating right now in the bear market, that's what you're supposed to be doing. They want you to leverage trade. You know why? You know how many people went short and felt like they were getting their riches today? And then what did it do all of a sudden? Even with XRP, I guarantee it, if you were going short today at 494, you're like, yes, from 494, then it came to 47. Oh shit, it's under the 48 or the 477 major support. Not even paying attention to the wick 35 minutes later that bounced it right back over, and now we are where we are. Again, in the short term, we have a golden cross here, and what did we have to do to validate it for XRP? In the short term, I mean a death cross we had. You need to get rejected here on the 200-day in the immediate short term. Otherwise, now we go back out in the pattern, and it's really simple once you start doing it. You go from short to long, and I can't stress this enough. And the beauty of what I do is I like listening to the comments, especially when somebody says, oh, you're calling for it to go down to zero, you're calling for it to go to the moon. If you pay attention to the technical analysis, I think it's a beautiful thing I do. I show you the exact formations and I leave it up to your interpretation, and not even my own interpretation. I let the charts do the speaking, so we can all unify and believe in the fact that, hey, if it goes up, we know where it's going, and if it goes down, we know where it's going based on the parameters. And the parameters here is if we get rejected at any point right now at 477, we go back down to the broadening wedge at the bottom at 44 cents and touch that at the inverted head and shoulders neckline. And now we assume if we start going up a little bit, let's just say we break out, and now in the 1 hour we would have to break here at the 49.1. The 2 hour, the 200 days up here at 495.8. The 3 hour starting to cross again. So you'd have to break this area up here at 4. It's all right around that same area. So if you get rejected there, this is just another rejection point. And now it's actually created on this little formation if it got rejected. A little arm there, but you know, this is where we have to get the proper rejection. We haven't got it yet. We haven't got it yet for XRP. So we need to see, can we get back over 494 and hold? Or is this where we actually get rejected and start to come down? Wow, is there really 49 people in here? I was not expecting that. Call me surprised. I'm always surprised anybody ever comes in and watches. I don't know why. 30 likes. Make sure you hit that like button, as it will greatly help push me through the analytics. I mean, that's spectacular. 49 people. I better say hi to everybody real quick. Tom, how you doing? I'm doing good, Darren. Welcome in, mate. Manny, Crypto News is saying, I don't know who Crypto News is, so I don't base what I'm saying based on what somebody else is saying, so sorry. But you put it like 3 or 4 times. I don't know. We'll come back to it. I got a lot to talk about here. Come on in. Hi, Tom. How you doing? What's going on, my friend? Why do you say Michigan like that? Ah, it's just something I say. Michigan. And I got to put some passion into where I live. Smash that like button. Indeed, John Hall. Good afternoon, my friend. Hashtag XRP indeed. It's going pretty good for me. Going pretty good. Just, you know, living the dream. Just, you know, dealing with the same things. Nothing bad. All good. I'm keeping that positive mindset. I'm glad to be here with each and every one of you. More money, no problem, no problem. I appreciate being here and I appreciate the compliment. Ross, welcome in. Ross says Bitcoin looks to dump at this point. We will get into Bitcoin. I'll bring in the chart and you're going to see exactly why Bitcoin is interesting here as I'm commenting, so I don't have to keep teasing you. It's amazing if you actually know what's going on in the formations, what is actually going on. And we're going to divulge that just like we did yesterday, but now we can go a little farther. Ross, hello, Tom. Came across your channel yesterday. Well, Ross, I appreciate you tuning back in. Yesterday was a fantastic day to find the channel, especially if you found it in the live. Man, was that a great live. Come on in. Devin, welcome in. An OG from long ago. Welcome in. Good afternoon, my friend. So with Bitcoin, well, I have everybody's attention. Newbie to your channel, been in crypto 4 years. Darren, I appreciate that. Stick around. I promise you will learn a lot. I promise. So with Bitcoin, and I'll just show you a little bit right now, this descending triangle that formed in the immediate short term, support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. Remember, we talked about if it could have formed all the way down here, the most pressure we could have formed is right in this area at 24,400. That would have been the ideal spot to have this just consolidate down and have a massive move out. As it is, we have to question ourselves. Now we had a descending triangle and we're trying to break out. We came up to the broken channel here at 28,000. So far though, we immediately pulled back down. Immediately. So when you hit that rejection, now we have to see, are we going to consolidate here? Are we going to try to push up and then hold that as a support? Or is this rejection? Okay, let me bring out my drawing tool. Because this is a spot where it's a lot of stuff happens. So what I wanted to see was boom, boom. So we've had this support, resistance, support, resistance, support. I wanted a rejection. Even if it comes up here, I wanted to fill this out and build that pressure, and boom. The more pressure you build, it's set in a descending triangle. If you can break to the end, it's mostly a bullish reversal. You get stuff like this happening, and if it does some volatility nonsense, it could bring us back down. So we don't want to change the pattern setup. I like the setup in this descending triangle for Bitcoin if we want it to move up. It's just got to play it true. Right now, it's not. The breakout, I don't like. I would have preferred for this not to happen unless this is what we were talking about before, how we broke the channel, came into the descending triangle formation, and now we're just retesting the broken channel. I mean, that was a channel that formed, you know, up to 30,000 and then down to 28,000. So it was about a 2,000 point channel. So if that's the validation here, I like that. I also like the fact that this brought itself up to a big head formation. It's just, is there more motives here? Is this the start of a massive reversal? Because If this is a reversal and it starts going, we already know where this can go up to. First place, first target for a big rejection. If it does break and hold this channel, we already know. We would be coming up here. Well, we don't already know. If you're new to my channel, you don't already know, so that's very porous of me to assume you would know. That's the CME gap up there at 30,000, just so you know. So that's the discrepancy when trading models are on. Some of them shut off and some exchanges are still open and yada, yada, yada. It's a whole big analytical nightmare, but the machines need to make up for it. So that's where we might have to go for the CME gap at 30K. But then right when you think you got it all figured out, it could be hunting there. And then you're like, wait a minute, why would it come down to 21,000? Oh yeah, another CME gap right around there. So just when you think you got it figured out, it can reverse right back on you. So anyhow, the important thing here is Bitcoin breaking out of this descending triangle. We would know if we get above this channel and start breaking out. Otherwise, this could have been the rejection point and it'll just fall back in. It happens a lot more than people like to think it does. So that's what our due diligence is here today. So wow, 52 people in here, I'm floored. 50 likes as well, that's tremendous. I really appreciate that. If you want to show support for my work, you can always join Tom's Army. That is my biggest wish, that more of you are in Tom's Army. But other than that, I don't like to promote. So join Tom's Army. If you want to show appreciation, or if you want to, you know, show the appreciation for the time. Or you can send a super chat, but that's not necessary. I just want you to be here and be involved. Greetings from the Buckeye State, Mackinac. You know, that used to make me a little uneasy when somebody from the Buckeyes, not that I don't love each and every one of you, but I'd always be like, man, we suck so bad, it's embarrassing to have a Buckeye in here because we just can't beat them. You know, but at least now we beat you the last 2 years, you know, so it's not as bad. But still, you still have won a national title in this century. We have not. But welcome in, I appreciate it. Let's see. Deutsche Bank has applied for crypto custody. Have they now? That is interesting. That is interesting. Ooh, I love ChatGPT. I love that, but we have to go to something else. And if you guys haven't, man, oh man, there's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff going on in this world. So DEUTCH Bank. What did you say? Bank applies for crypto. Dutch Bank seeks crypto custody license approval. Here, let's learn together. 1.4 trillion banking giant Dutch Bank, Deutsche Bank files for crypto custody license. Interesting. Thank you for that information. Come on in. Now we can learn together. Then we'll get back into the charts. You know, the charts, I can only say so much about the charts. You guys know. Did that make sense on the charts? Yes or no in the comments, just so I know. Welcome in, John. It's been a while indeed. I hope you're doing great, my friend. Welcome back. Omaha Eddie in the house as well, Mr. Eddie Lance. I appreciate you being in town. Terry, welcome in. Hola from Mexico. Glad to see you in. Jose, welcome in. Watch, recycle, repeat, indeed. And the reason he says that is because I used to say, watch the content, recycle it to friends and family, and repeat. Come back and watch the next update. I think it's a very simple philosophy. Silverhawk, welcome in from Idaho, and Crypto Scrooge, welcome in. Solo himself, Crypto Solo Scrooge on YouTube. So Dutch Bank or Deutsche Bank or Deutsche Bank, there we go, Deutsche Bank, sounds a little bit better, seeks crypto custody license approval in Germany. So come on in, brought this to us, so I just did a little search. German investment bank Deutsche Bank has applied to Germany's financial regulator to provide custody services for cryptocurrency. I can confirm that Dutch Bank has applied to a BaFin for a license for crypto custody. A spokesperson for the bank told Blockworks via email on Tuesday. Who cares? Lynn reportedly said the bank is growing its digital assets and custody businesses. Yada, yada, yada. In February, DWS was reportedly considering investments in 2 German crypto companies to boost growth. The company were Deutsche Digital Assets, which offers crypto exchange traded products, and Tradius, a market-making firm. BaFin keeps an eye on companies in Germany. that provide services related to crypto assets, including crypto trading platforms, crypto ATM operators, and companies offering crypto custody services. So BlackRock, like come on in, said BlackRock is filing for the Bitcoin ETF. And now all of a sudden, Deutsche Bank is applying for a crypto license. I would say the institutional investors are starting to get a little bit of interest. At least trying to find a back door into this thing. So just a little bit of information. So let me get this out. So basically, so we don't have to look at the charts for a minute. This has been going on 20 minutes. It's been a beautiful live so far, I think. You're all beautiful people. All these comments, it makes it very exciting. So with XRP, pay attention. We're in the descending, we're in the broadening wedge on XRP. We have a area right now. We're at about the 488 level the last we looked. We need to get back over the 494 level if we're trying to break up over this resistance area. And ultimately, we're going to have to push over and hold that 508 resistance. And then once you get into that area, then you can start hunting the 532. But anything short of that, if you come back down on XRP and break the 477, that's going to be a very firm rejection. And right now, Bitcoin's being very volatile and stubborn, but it almost makes you wonder why XRP had a 3.56% drop earlier today, brought us back down to almost 47 cents, just to push back up almost 3% right when Bitcoin had its push. So it almost was a kick in the teeth, because actually XRP, if it wouldn't have dropped prematurely right before that, which makes you think it's set up, XRP very well could be sitting at that 508 level right now, and now we could be hunting something. As it is, we got to wait for XRP to start pushing back over and into that area to see if we even have a chance to start hunting the 532 again. For XRP to get back over the top of the broadening wedge and to push out towards 65 cents, we would have to get back above 585. And that seems far away because we still have valid right now the death cross in the 4-hourly and all these rejection points at 494 and around 50 cents. That just validates and makes it stronger. So we'll see if it can push out. With Bitcoin, we have the descending triangle formation. We got on top of it at 27,200, broke back up to the broken channel at 28,000. Initially right now we've gotten rejected, and we need to see if we can break out and over 28,000. If we can get over that, we'd head towards the CME gap, the CME gap at 30K, and then we could continue moving a little bit further if that's how we have it planned. But right now, Bitcoin, and my voice, you know, it is what it is. If you appreciate what I'm doing, join Tom's Army or send a super chat. If you want me to cover something else and throw off my train of thought, you can do either one of those two things, and I'd be happy to oblige. But as it is, you know, I got to keep this professional. Jose, welcome in. What did Jose say? And for everyone to share your content with all their friends in this community. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That would be amazing. Rodney, welcome in. From Memphis, Tennessee. What a fantastic area. So right now, Bitcoin is at this very important level here at 28,000. Very important. If we can get on top and hold 28,000, your next major area of resistance is up at the top of the broken channel at 29,800 roughly. That's also conveniently right at the CME gap. So if we got that gap filled and then broke down, that would be huge. Or if we get rejected here, I really want Bitcoin to build this pressure so bad. So bad I wanted it. Oh my God, I can't explain how bad. And people are like, well, why would you want to go 24? Because if that pressure formed properly, descending triangles are bullish reversals if they form the pressure properly. And seeing that it came on a bull flag initially to break up here, oh man, it could have been ultra. That could have been an ultra spicy move. As it is, we cut it short about 3/4 of the way, so this is a prototypical move if it continues moving up, but it could be coming for a proper rejection at 30,000 if it does it in one swift motion without back testing any of this. That's how you know that this is gonna be a quick move. Even if it gets weight, you want to fill in this. So here now you'd want to fill in, then you'd come up here and refill, and it's like you start doing this, filling in all the levels so you don't leave gaps. Even right now though, if we don't come back and back test this initial move, we've already started it with the gap, and that's what we don't want. We don't want boom up here and then not retesting the breakout to come back up. The last thing we want right now is a boom and then just keep moving. We don't want it to just keep moving. We need to validate these. I would much rather come back within that descending triangle, but hey, what do I know? So, I mean, that's where we're at, everybody. That's where we're at. What do you think? What do we think? DXY is at 102 spot 564. DXY is looking pretty shaky at best. We already did it. Dot cross into the 4 hourly. We've already basically finished that part of the move. And now we're looking for a further move down if we get a rejection at the 20 days. So right now you could have a little volatility up to about 103 spot 184. Which, does that put pressure on crypto? It could. It very well could. The Chronicle, welcome in. And then if we go into the daily time frame, I mean, what do? The US dollar's at a very big crossroads here. Still got some room though. It's still got some room to finish out this formation before it has to make any major decision. So that's XRP, that's Bitcoin. The dollar, we can see it's under a little bit of pressure, but it could move up to 103 spot 18 to try to get a firm rejection. Then if it breaks over that, then obviously it's something. Gold is still continuing to do what we talked about in the Silver Stackers series, which I need to get to another update. It's been about 3.5 weeks. The next one will be, I believe, the 10th or the 11th in the series. But with gold and silver, we talked about two main things with gold. If we go into the daily, gold was ready to come down. It came up to the top of our area, but I still believe gold probably is a little bit off. And I would be a lot more comfortable, not just to come down here to 1893, come down to 1840 and validate this push up. We're already building a very porous handle here. So this looks very bearish for gold. And that could be because the US dollar is going to have a volatile move here. But eventually gold is going to have its day. A lot of the central banks are building gold and silver. But what have I told you from the beginning? Don't worry about buying gold. Buy silver. Look, that's a porous. We don't want a handle right there. Even if we come here, that could be an okay handle. But if we're coming for the move, we want the handle up here, not down here. So this should come back down here. It might even, you never know, it could come all the way back down. I don't really necessarily, I would love for gold to come way down there, I'll be honest. But I don't think it's going to come all the way down there. But I could certainly see it correcting itself here and coming down to that 1840 level again. Maybe even a tiny bit lower. And especially if we start losing this in the weekly, we could come all the way back down to the low 1700s. So I just watch it. I collect my precious metals. I don't worry about selling them. Right now, the gold-silver ratio is 83.61, so I'd only be buying silver if I was in the market today. And then what I do is I take it when they're 80 to 1 approximately. 80 to 1 or higher. I bought them all the way up to like 107 to 1, silver to gold, or the gold to silver ratio. And I will trade my silver for gold when it goes back to 40 to 1. So basically, let's say I bought something at 100 to 1 ratio and I bought 100 ounces. I can now go buy an ounce of gold when it's 40 to 1, take 40 of those and still have 60 of the original ounces of silver and get an ounce of gold for 40 of those ounces of silver. So essentially you've gotten yourself an ounce of gold for, some say, half price. If you just understand how to work the system, instead of paying all that money for gold, you can just start trading your silver. And then the importance of that is silver weighs a lot more than gold when you have it on you. Not the actual pound for pound when you have one piece per piece or ounce to ounce, but you're going to have to hold and stack a lot more silver than gold. So yes, silver will weigh a lot more. And if you accumulate the stuff, you understand what I'm talking about. Yes, the metal itself is not heavier, but you have to get more. So when it's $23.17 an ounce compared to $19.37 an ounce, you know, I'm going to have, what, 43, or what is it, 83.6 ounces of gold or silver to equal 1 ounce of gold right now. So I got to walk around with 83 fucking ounces of silver to have the same price value of gold for 1 ounce. So yes, it becomes a lot of a weight issue. So if you can unload 40 ounces of silver at a time to get an ounce of gold, man, what a beautiful exchange that is, and I love it. All you got to do is listen. I divulge the secrets every single day. So I tell you to take your profits and put it into precious metals. Even today, you buy silver. Let's say you made $1,000 a day. You obviously take your initial investment and you put it to the side. And then what I like to tell people is you also have enough money to buy it back. So it's not just about buying the precious metals. You've still got to have enough money out of your profit to buy your initial investment back. So if you've only got $1,000 that you can afford to use from that profit, and let's say it doesn't go exactly where you want and you have to spend $300 of that profit because you got to buy back in. Well, then you take the $700 that's left over after you're firmly back in your position, and instead of just leaving it in there, speculating it, futures trading like they really want you to do, So the market makers would have, so here, before I leave, I have to. The market manipulators would like you to believe that you get some profits in crypto. Right? How many times have you heard this from anybody else on YouTube, or you've heard this maybe in articles? So you have XRP, let's say 35 cents. You have 10,000 XRP. You sell it at 60 cents. You got $6,000, and you're like, all right, well, I know it's going to go back down to 45 cents. So now, what do you have? You've got a $1,500 surplus, right? Hell no, trading with J. I would not buy gold on Uphold. I would buy gold on Scottsdale Mint, because that's where I use it, or JM Bullion, because those are the only two I use. Scottsdale Mint I use to buy it directly with my crypto. I don't even have to send it to my bank to get the money. So I've been doing that for the last about 6 months now on Scottsdale Mint ever since I found that out. So anyhow, getting back to my point, and I'm not affiliated with anybody. I'm not getting paid for any of this. When I tell you my exchanges I use and where the links are at, it's not because I'm getting paid. It's so that you have the information. I don't do any of the paid partnerships or any of the paid promotions or none of that. So I'm not getting paid. So I have creative control over my content. So what I say is what I firmly believe in, the practices I use to live the life I do. So and it's not the most glorious life, but I don't go to a 9 to 5 because I use my practices of investing. And when I make money in crypto, so let's say you have the 1,500, you went from 3,500, actually you got 2,500 bucks, you're doing good. You went from 3,500 and then you sold it for, let's say $6,000 because it's at 60 cents. This is a hypothetical, folks. So now you come back down, you got to buy 10,000 tokens. Well, it gets down to 45 cents and you're like, you know what? That's good enough for me. I still got $1,500 on the side after rebuying back in XRP. So now I'm going to be smart. I'm going to keep 500 on the exchange just for the hell of it, just in case I see some of my other tokens I want. But now I got $1,000. Well, what do? Well, Tom, XRP Future Millionaire, says we got to buy silver because it's an 83 point whatever to 1 today. So you take that $1,000, you put it into precious metals, you have $1,000 in silver. You do it at once, but now you've done the number one thing you're supposed to do. Crypto is for those quick hitting gains, which you still have to hold over time because you have to ride it from bear markets into bull markets. But the overall way to store your value, and it's been proven over all time, including back in the Bible, and I don't talk religious a lot, but going back to even Genesis, when they talk about Noah's Ark, what is the whole ark covered in at the top? That's right, gold and precious metals. You know, it's demanded by God that it be covered like that. So these are the real money. That's why they say it's God's money. So when it comes to, and it's in Genesis chapter 1 in the Old Testament. So my suggestion to you is get the Ethiopic Bible, and it's 800 years before the King James Bible. So that's the one I read out of. So anyhow, getting back to it. So you make that purchase in precious metals. Well, now we go in time. Remember I did this in 2021. I had 10,000 or 12,000 in profits, right? It was really covered in XRP. Yep, that's right. That's right. So now you have your silver, right? So over the time from 2021 to 2023, I was buying silver. I bought some gold when it was appropriate. I showed everybody the steps along the way. I've been doing Silver Stacker series. So now we're in 2023. We've got our XRP back, and I use the example of 35 cents because my average right now is slightly under 35 cents, but that's my 10,000 tokens, which I have slightly more than I had before in 2021, but I sold out for 400% or whatever it was. So now that gold is steadily in my possession, or in my silver. But now we have our portfolio built again. We didn't go around in the secret. They tell you to futures trade. Here's my point. They tell you to futures trade, and you can get more XRP if you know how to futures trade. In my opinion, that's a good way to lose all of your XRP and to not have a store of value behind you. What happens like with regulations if they come after crypto and all of a sudden the money supply gets cut off? Now you've been setting yourself up with profits with the precious metals, and that's something that'll be universally good. So instead of using, the lure of I can make thousands of % leverage trading, stay the course. Make your money by understanding spots to sell if you want to swing trade, which even that, I just like to buy and accumulate in the bear markets, and then I do all my damage in the bull market. I sell it, and then I can buy all my precious metals. I can do everything I need to do. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Hemi, welcome in from New Zealand. Crypto Scrooge, I appreciate that greatly. The Chronic, what do you guys think of Space Chain and NVIDIA partnership? I have to look more into that. On the surface, it seems like something could be brewing. The Chronic, welcome in. Trading with J-Rod, I hope I helped you. How many cyber attack will bring XRP down to 40? Well, if there's a cyber attack, I think it's going to come more than 44 cents. But listen, guys, see, the whole reason I don't talk about all that stuff is since beginning of time, we always talk about dates. It's just like with XRP. I don't like to make predictions about the actual price it's going to. I give you the short-term time frame and the long-term. I give you a formidable opinion of my own, and I show it with the analysis on the charts. And I know because of my fluidity with it, everybody gets excited and they're like, oh my God, he knows what he's talking about. But the truth is, with the whole cyber attacks and everything like that, I've been listening to this since 1998. I've been listening to this in the crypto sphere since 2021. I'm just going to tell you, don't base it around that. Don't base it around that. And the whole reason why I don't sell XRP now, with the date it's at, sure, I could take $1,000 or $1,500 in profit. Sure, of course I could. But right now, to me, it's not worth losing my XRP to not own it. Because what happens if I come back on, and this is what we should all be conscious of. What if you come back on, and even Uphold says, hey, you're in the USA, I'm sorry. You're not buying this anymore, sir. So now we're looking. Look at Bitcoin, 27,948. Look at the total crypto market cap. Shot up to 1.071. So just consider that. And I know this is getting long. I can't believe there's 61 people here and 66. I say this every day. It's just a tremendous honor that all of you tune in. Total crypto market cap could be working up to that 1.095. But then again, in the 4-hourly, 1.067 trillion is that the 200-day in the 4-hour time frame. So these could be just volatile spikes up. I mean, it really could be. What's going on, True? Welcome in. Appreciate you tuning in as well, my friend. Mr. Trentfield, welcome in. You're late, but you're here. I know my voice is shot, everybody. So, I mean, this is basically the end here. I did it as long as I could, 37 minutes. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Still 54 people. If you want to join Tom's Army or send any kind of super chat or just say thanks, this is your chance to say it now. And we already, so basically it's, remember with XRP, we got to get back over 494 if this has any hope. And if we lose 47.7, that could help signify a rejection point there to move down to 44. We could already have a hold at 46 cents on the bottom of that broadening wedge there so far with a support hit. But we still have that dot cross that has not been invalidated yet. So we still got some work to do, ladies and gentlemen. We really do. Exchange, Salab, and Brown has been good to me. Jason Ceta, thanks. No problem, my friend. No problem at all. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn that bell notification to all. I'll be doing one more update tonight at least. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. So I have one last message for everybody. One last message, and it's something we live by in this community. Now, if you're new, we don't play the victim here. You know why? In a society where everybody's playing the victim right now, and nobody really understands the proper way to go about things, it seemingly appears nowadays. When we play the victim and we have that negative energy, we attract the negativity. It's something that I am more guilty than anybody of doing. I played the victim, even in this community, for a long time, not even realizing it. I was playing the victim. And by doing that, I was putting out a negative energy at times, maybe even a bitter, like a, what's the right word? Like I was hostile, I had hostile energy. So when you attract that kind of energy, it starts to transform your community into a very negative place. You start to lose the spirituality and the God-fearing people. That's the problem. When you take God out of something and the spirit and Jesus, let's face it, it becomes a very dark place. So the community started going in a place I didn't want. So I took it upon myself to reevaluate my stance, to reevaluate myself, and I turned this into a positive place. We use the positive energy, and we don't play the victim. We are the winners. We have the winner's mindset, and what that means, if you're a winner and you have the winner's mindset, you make winning plays in the hardest of times, which means in bear markets, you accumulate when everybody's telling you not to. You accumulate when everybody thinks we're going to the moon or going way down below zero. You get all of that negativity that anybody else is throwing out there, and you start feasting. It's the same thing I taught you in 2021. You feast, and yeah, I didn't come on in time in 2021 for us to hit the bottom of the bear market, but we hit right before the massive 300+% quick 3-week spike on XRP. And I kept saying, this is the moment where you got to do it, and then we'll see if we get up to the top and get rejected. That's where we have to sell out, and then we have to do it all over again. But you never know when the next time is going to be the last time, and that's the point. You never know. So you got to keep that winner's mindset. You stay positive, and then if you start to buy in moments where, let's put it this way: if you can navigate this place we call crypto in this kind of an environment, imagine what you can do when everything's in a bull market. Imagine what you can do when all the regulations come into play and everything gets sorted out. XRP gets its validity and clarity, whether they have to pay a fine or whatever the case is. We go to try, who knows? But imagine if you just understand. You know how that starts? It starts with one thing: being positive. It starts with having a belief in something, the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It's that simple. When you put the positivity out and you put the godly energy, and you don't let the satanic win, you don't let all this negative bullshit that's going on in the world, and you don't blame everybody. It's the government, it's this, it's them, it's the SEC, the grocery stores, it's my parents, whatever. You don't play the victim, you play the winner. Man, we got a donation, I'll be damned. Bandit. Thanks for the $19.99. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thanks for all you do for us all here in crypto land. No problem. And as you can see, I got on this. The voice is shot, but I hope the message is true. Stay blessed, everybody, and remember, you're a winner. You're not a victim, and I love each and every one of you for your individualness. And true, you've been winning the last 3 days. Hell yeah. Derek Plaza, welcome in. Appreciate it, and that's all I know how to do is preach the truth, my friend. Thanks, everybody. John, you have my email. Send me a picture of your... Oh, fuck, I forgot about that. I will do that indeed, John. I will do that indeed, my friend. I've completely forgot about that. Stay blessed, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you.